Hey folks, as I said, I was going to start doing my best to post more videos, and so come across it's one of the people I really like, because she speaks her mind.
Hi everyone, I hope you're all well.
Whew, Daisy Cousins, there's a lot of people I really love their videos, and definite total respect to the work that they do and come up with to. And I know that they deal with a lot of hatred, hate mail, and things like that, but do their best. So I'm very proud of like Daisy Cousins and a lot of them, the ones that I follow. Brandon Tatum, just a lot of them. Just Sydney Watson. I'm really proud of what the work that they do, that the hatred they have to deal with. I'm good with that. I know Brandon's good with that. I mean, you want to hate me, you want to try and threaten me, good luck with that. You can hate me all you want, but you want to try and threaten me? Again, good luck with that. Because I sure as hell, I'm a man's man. As Austin Powers, I'm a man's man, baby. You're trying to bullshit with me.
So the ABC, Australia's taxpayer-funded TV network, hosts a political program every Monday night called Q&A, which in recent years has skewed very much leftwards. Thus, it came as no surprise that on November 4th, the program featured an all-female panel with a female moderator, radio host Fran Kelly. The panelists were Egyptian-American feminist and founder of the hashtag #MosqueMeToo movement, Mona El-Taha.
Now remember, she said Egyptian. So last time I checked, aren't women still treated like shit and slaves? And aren't they still stoned to death in Egypt? So how is this bitch in the Western world going to call out cisgendered, white supremacist men and hate men? Bitch, go to your own country. I dare you to go to Egypt and be spouting all that junk where you're from, and spouting all that junk that you're going to say on Australian TV and everything. I would love to see how the men treat you over there. But it's funny how these people are in the Western, world. Slavery, sexual abuse, mutilations, all of that goes on in current today Africa, current today Middle East, North Korea. This is current, present, topics. Yet they're not in the places that this stuff goes on currently. And I love how they keep bringing up the ancient past, the past, of how things were. No, why don't you bring up today? You want to talk about today? We can talk about today. But you want to, help people? Then why don't you go help the women who are currently going through brutality? See, this is what gets me. That's like a cop who wants to be a cop, but only wants to be a cop in a safe neighborhood. No, you want to do the work? Do the work where they're going to need you. Well, the same thing goes to these dumbass feminists. You want to do the work and help women? Then go to the places that actually would need your help, like the Middle East, like Africa, like North Korea. But we already know you ain't going to do that because you're probably going to get murdered over there. Not probably, more than likely, you're going to get murdered over there. So, but we don't really have any of those problems here, except for, like, let's say Chicago, where there would be rapings and all that other stuff. But funny, isn't Obama from Chicago? So how is it Chicago was a piece of shit before he was the president, and it's still a piece of shit? It was a piece of shit during the time he was president, and it's still a piece of shit today. Y'all voted for his dumbass, and he didn't even help the city where he's from. Interesting. Very interesting.
Are we? Anti-ageism author Ashton Applewhite, anti-domestic violence author Jess Hill, social change agent Hannah Asafari, and Indigenous screenwriter and activist Nayuka Gori. Now, this affirmative action panel was billed as a fearless feminist progressive offering, the kind that pretends to be boundary pushing but is actually quite mundane and politically correct. However, when these women opened their mouths, it became apparent that this was not your average panel of whiny feminists. These women's views were those of extremist identitarian anarchist agitators. Between them, they advocated for citizen executions, the abolition of the police, the end of incarceration for criminals, the mass harassment of people they don't like on social media, and the use of political violence as a handy approved tactic. Oh, and they also really hate white men.
These old white men mostly who are saying, no, we want to keep our hands on everything.
There was also this.
I just want to take the opportunity to talk about climate change.
I'm just curious.
No, God, please, no, no!
Yeah, that they were talking about, we're saying no is because she wanted to talk about climate change. Again, you want to talk climate change? The majority of trash, plastic, pollution comes from Middle East, Asia, not from the United States. So you want to talk climate change? Go to Asia and complain about that. See how far that gets you. Well, again, when we want these white men who don't want to give up their power, well, I hate to tell you, and this is just a fact of history, who invented the majority of the shit that we're all using today? Cars, computers, trains, airplanes, ships. White people. White people created the majority of all the shit that we use today. So if you hate white people, I mean, I hate to tell you, but what white people have done to benefit mankind has far, I mean, hello, vaccines, the Black Plague and all that other stuff, white people. So you want to hate white people so damn much, then give up immunizations, give up your cars, give up train travel, give up plane travel, give up your computers, your cell phone, your video cameras. I mean, you want to give up everything that white people have created. Major agriculture, major farming, how Henry Ford revolutionized industry. As I said, you want to hate white people so much, give up everything that white people have created, have invented, and then we can talk. But if you're not going to give up any of those things, then all I'm hearing is bullshit out of your mouths. A bunch of lies. I don't know why nobody has sued you bitches for slander. I mean, you're spouting things that don't you need evidence for that stuff? I mean, it's funny. Can I say all gay people are a particular way? Can I say all women are a particular way? No. But it's funny how y'all want to say all men, and then all white men on top of that. Where's your evidence of that? But again, for men want to hold on to their power. Well, considering men were the ones who tamed the world, we put thousands of years in to tame the world for you weaker women. Men did invented fire, shelter, hunting to feed you, clothing. Men did all of that work. So thousands of years. So if men don't want to relinquish it in the last couple of 100 years that y'all all of a sudden have feminist rights, no. My mom would be up there in that panel in those bitches' faces going, you want something? Earn it. If you didn't earn it, shut the hell up. You don't just get to complain about something and just get free shit. You want it? Work for it. You want it? Earn it. That way people respect you because you earned it. What are these bitches doing other than, I mean, most of them are famous from writing stupid books. What have you actually done to benefit the world other than just bitch about shit? What? No! No!
Now, I don't actually have a problem with these views being expressed on TV. On the contrary, I believe in free speech for everyone, including those people that I disagree with. Nevertheless, the ABC received 200 complaints. As such, they pulled the replay from ABC iView and have launched an investigation to determine whether or not it breached ABC standards. Thankfully, somebody managed to get the episode onto YouTube, so if you want to watch it, it is in the video description. The big issue people seem to
You don't need to watch the whole video. She kind of touches on a lot of it here.
Have with the episode is that there was zero dissent on the panel, including from the moderator. As such, these views that are very... So I'm going to go through this episode because, and I mean this sincerely, it was the most important hour of television globally, I think, of 2019. This is because it once and for all exposed the regressive left and radical feminism for the insidious, violent, extreme, man-hating, white-hating, Christian-hating, fact-free demagoguery that it is. So please watch this video all the way through. And if you like it, please subscribe to my channel. It is very, very important that you hear this. These women expose feminists' hatred of straight white men. Now, we've all heard feminists flat out denying that they hate men and that it's just a stereotype and that really they care about men and want to help them and that feminism is good for men as well as women, blah, 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 blah. But we all...
My mother would never agree that feminism is good. Ever. My mom couldn't stand feminist. My mom was that whole hardcore woman that you want something, you fucking earn it. Anybody gets in your way, you punch them out of your way and you keep moving forward. That is what my mom advocated for violence, is if somebody is going to deliberately stand in your way that may harm you, that may prevent you from moving forward, then yes, you need to do that by by pretty much any means necessary. You start off soft, but you may have to knock a brother out, kind of thing, so you can actually move forward. But this whole thing of just getting free shit or getting shit just because you're a feminist, my mom would not be in for that at all.
Well, no, that is not true. And that was demonstrated very effectively by Mona's relentless suggesting that we live in a white supremacist patriarchy.
What we have to do is start seriously talking about dismantling patriarchy. And when I talk about patriarchy, I'm talking about a white supremacist, capitalist, imperialist patriarchy, to quote Black American feminist bell hooks. Because what I'm hearing here is very similar to what's happening in the United States. But I also urge everyone to connect it to what...
So when I heard that, I was like, what are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? I grew up in the 70s and actually dealt with the real racism and people trying to put that ceiling on you and holding you down. And I was like, nope, fuck you. I'm going to move forward. What are you going to do about it? That's what I did. But for this patriarchy, white supremacist, what evidence? We have video cameras everywhere. You could be recorded anywhere and everywhere in the world today. Where is this evidence that you bitches are just spitting out? Where is this evidence that y'all are throwing out that this shit exists? Where is it? And I love when I try to talk to people about that stuff and they want to say Donald Trump. And it's like, what has he said or what has he done? He's been there for 3 years. Where is this magic evidence that you guys claim that you have of all of this sexist? And none of it holds any water. None of it exists. It's just them just talking bunch of dumb shit. And this is why I'm like, we're done. I don't know why we just haven't fucking bitch slapped the hell out of all you fucking feminists and all you transgender people that want to hate on. Nobody is standing in the way of your rights. Who? What rights are being infringed on? Because every time I've asked that question, every time I've watched any of the people I follow who have asked that question, none of these leftist people can ever answer it. Where? Show us where. Bring up a thing online, show us a video, show us something that says this is some mass spread cisgender male, white male supremacist. Show us. And the funny thing is, I've only seen where somebody has brought up like one person. And I'm like, one person? One. That's not a majority. What the hell what are you talking about? You don't even live in the same, like some one story pops up some random fucking place in the Midwest or something or whatever. Or like the shooting that happened here in El Paso, how the guy specifically went after Mexicans. One guy. What is that one guy doing to bother the entire country or the entire state or the entire city of El Paso? Not a damn thing. After that happened, I went to go get my concealed carry license. The majority of the people in there were Mexican, and half of the class was women. Strong women. Teachers even. One was a principal, for that matter. Had her family in that class. Her daughter, son-in-law, her husband. I mean, it was like, no, we ain't gonna be suckers. We're getting our concealed carry and we're gonna defend ourselves. This is Texas, bitches. You know, where even the women are like, hey, we will rope you, hog tie you, and whip you. This is Texas. These weak ass fucking feminist bitch ass women up here. Man, I've got so many women that I know that would beat the hell out of those women. You don't want somebody to treat you like shit. You don't want somebody to beat you or hit you. Stab a mofo then. Grab a bat and beat his ass. Just stupid.
So often in the news is portrayed as a problem in my country of birth.
Now, funny, she's from Egypt.
Egypt, where police brutality is connected to a fascist state or a militarist state. You rarely make that connection.
Yeah, funny. The bitch is from Egypt. Why isn't she in Egypt over there helping? Why is she here? Why is she not in the Middle East helping her women power, helping her women? Because she knows damn well they would stone her to death the moment they got their hands on her. The moment, I guarantee you, the bitch has probably got death threats on her in Egypt. So why is she here? Why is she in the Western world talking about something that exists in fucking Egypt, that currently exists on a grand scale? There is video evidence. There is full proof of the shit that happens in Africa and the Middle East. So why aren't these feminist women who want to be so strong and can fight against men and defend against men and we're equal to men? Well, get off your asses and go to those countries. Go protest over there.
But what you're talking about is the overwhelming power of the state. And that state is driven by a white supremacist patriarchy. We're talking about a very specifically male kind of violence. And again, according to the tentacles of patriarchy.
There's that word again.
So for me, we have to have a serious discussion. We have to dismantle patriarchy.
Now, the very notion that we live in a white supremacist patriarchy indicates a hatred of white men because it depicts their very essence as harmful and oppressive. Now, this would be correct if we actually did live in a white supremacist patriarchy,
right.
But we don't.
We don't.
Social values in the West are based on equality, fairness, compassion, respect for human rights, and freedom. People who speak against those things are rightfully publicly condemned, and people who break the laws that we have in place to protect these values and rights are arrested, tried fairly, and punished if found guilty. None of that would happen if we actually lived in a white supremacist patriarchy. White supremacism is a very specific thing, and it's a term that's been tossed around far too frequently of late by ideologues who are running out of things to complain about. Now, this fantasy that feminists push of a white supremacist patriarchy is a projection of their internalized hatred and resentment of white men. It's pure bigotry based on nothing other than their own longing for a common enemy that they can denigrate with no condemnation in order to make themselves feel better. The other panelists also betrayed their seemingly innermost thoughts about men, according to Hannah.
Positive masculinity is an empowered woman.
What? What? What the fuck does that? Positive masculinity is an empowered woman. What the fuck does that mean? My mom and grandma were the two strong. Still have that male connection, protection, that kind of thing. But grandma had no problem grabbing her damn shit straight up. It's funny. It's these weak ass bitches that say stupid shit like that. They are straight up weak. No strong woman that I know of, no strong woman that I know of, I iterate, no strong woman that I know of in my entire life would say something stupid like that.
Who raises and teaches and will nurture attitudes of respect towards women.
Which, interestingly enough, post-show, she tried to distance herself from.
My other issue on Q&A that I didn't have the opportunity to contribute to is on men. I'm a mother of two boys, and I have brothers, and I have a father. We all have cousins and uncles and grandparents. The role of men is not to fear women. I don't want men to fear women, nor do I want women to fear men and be intimidated by them. I want us to work towards a different and imagine a different and more harmonious world.
Nayuka.
What? Then bitch, why didn't you say that when you were on the fucking panel? No, you literally said exactly what you wanted to say. And then I guarantee you got home and your husband or whoever you're with, or, you know, because you're the mother of two boys, somebody said something to your bitch ass and you were like, oh shit, I better correct what I said. No, you said what you meant to say the first time on the panel. Stick with that. I'll at least respect that more. When you come back and change what you meant of what you said, then I have a serious problem. Because now you're just backtracking and lying just like all of you leftist assholes.
Also had an interesting perspective on men through the lens of her current pregnancy.
Initially, I was scared. I was like, what if I raise a cis straight man?
Now, I'm just curious. Why would you be afraid of raising your own child to be a straight cis male? So what you're saying is you're going to go out of your way to raise a gay or transgender boy. Wow. No, fuck you, bitch. Doesn't the child get to choose for themselves? Don't we all get to choose? Isn't that what you're spreading out there? Is that we get to choose? Well, then why are you making a dumbass comment like that?
What am I going to do?
And there's more.
I'm urging the cis straight men out there is something deeply broken in you and in the way that you...
What the fuck are you talking about? What is broken in men? I was raised damn right by my mother. As I pointed out in other videos, even on my Facebook. My mother said, treat a woman like a queen, treat her with respect, treat her like a queen unless she acts like a bitch, and then you treat her like a bitch. And all the bitches on the panel are fucking bitches, straight up. My mom would grab each one of those bitches by their hair and beat the shit out of all of them. And be like, it wasn't a man that did it. It was a woman that beat your asses. Now what? Stand up and put your chest out. That's what my mom would whip the fuck out of these feminist dumbasses. I was raised by the strongest women I have ever known. And I was raised right. I was raised Southern, well, technically Southern Baptist, you know, to be a Southern gentleman, you know, and everything else. But my mom made sure when I was a kid to instill in me, do not let this fuck you up. I want you to be a gentleman, but don't let it get you twisted in the sense that, you know, you're always supposed to be a gentleman, because there are women out there that will take advantage of a good man, of a good boy like you. They will definitely take advantage of that. They will abuse you. They will treat you like shit. The more of a good man you are, the more they will treat you like shit. So my mom was always about, don't hit a woman unless she hits you first. If she hits you first, knock the bitch out. To teach her, don't hit a man. Straight up. Because we shouldn't be hitting people in the first place. So it's just self-defense. This isn't a male or female thing. If anybody hits you, hit the bitches back. Hit them back, male or female, gay, straight, whatever. There shouldn't be anybody hitting you for any reason whatsoever. So if a person wants to be violent, male, female, whatever, put them down. So again, my mom raised me to be right, but she also made sure to instill in me, don't be so right that you get taken advantage of. And yeah, I've seen that firsthand from a lot of women in my life, where I've been such a good man that they have completely fucked me up, like my ex-bitch of a wife. And I'm done. I am done having somebody treat me like shit. I am done with somebody trying to use their womanly wiles or whatever to control me. I don't need that in my life anymore. I know my value. I know who I am. And there are good women out there who want somebody to be equal, not somebody to be their lapdog, not somebody that you got to put a rope around. And no, somebody that's in a partnership and it's straight equal. You know, I'm not going through that shit again. I could be single for the rest of my life. I've got no problem with that ever again. I don't need to be in a relationship ever again and sacrifice who I am like I did for 23 years with my ex of a wife, and just let her, you know, because of the way I was raised, let her treat me the way that she did, and just put up. I mean, I didn't necessarily just put up with it, but every time I would ask, hey, should we go to counseling? I'm the one asking these questions, not her. I was the one who was raised right. Every time I'd ask, do you want to go to counseling? Do you want to go? What's going on with you? Talk to me. Oh no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Everything's great. I just have a lot on my mind. Do you want me to go? I had my garage set up as a man cave thing. I'll sleep in the garage. I'll sleep on the couch. You know, do you want us to separate? No, you're being paranoid. No, you're being stupid. I just have things on my mind. No, we've been married over 20 years. Why the hell would I want to give that up now? And then she just up and left. Wasn't me. It was straight up her who did what she did. And then was a coward about the damn shit. She could have just honestly said, you know what? I don't want to be in the relationship anymore. And I would have been like, all right, well, hey, you finally told the truth about it and everything. Cool. Let's go our separate ways. Obviously, you don't want to work on it because you lied to me the whole time when I kept asking, was there something wrong? And should we go to counseling or something else? So, hey, whatever, you're still a bitch, but fine, peace out, we're out. But no, she didn't even do that. She didn't have the guts to do that. She just up and left. So where are you feminists? I thought y'all wanted, here's the thing. I thought y'all wanted equal rights, but all y'all seem to do is talk about treating men like shit. So where's the equality? Because I'm not one of those asshole men. I'm not one of them. So why are you saying all men?
Move through the world. As you get older, learn from people like us.
See, here's what's funny. You see how she said women like us? I learned from my mother, strongest woman I know. I learned from my mother. Why would I need to learn from you? I learned from a strong woman, a woman that would whip y'all's asses, beat the fuck out of all of y'all on that panel. So why would you make that kind of a comment? Learn from us. There are other women that we can learn from. I mean, most teachers are women. So we spend most of our early years in school under these women. Most dads don't deal with school stuff. I did. I was one of those dads who was involved in the school thing. PTA vice president, PTA president, PTA treasurer. I was on the council for the GT program with my, when my son was in the GT program, the gifted program and all that. I was directly involved in my children's school careers. But most men don't do that. So it's the mothers and female teachers who are mostly involved in raising these males, these sons. So you're already learning how to be right. So I'm just curious, when you get older, you need to learn from us. Why can't I learn from any of the other women out there? What's so special about you? I would love to have been in that panel. I've been, whoa, whoa, whoa. What makes you, from women like us, what makes you more special than the woman I did learn from? My mother. Who made you the Queen of Sheba, that you're more special than the strongest woman I knew? My mom. What makes you have more knowledge or more experience or more culture or more anything that makes you a better teacher to me than what my mother taught me? Because I don't see a damn thing that I would have learned from you. How to be weak. I was already learning to be a gentleman. I've already learned to be a gentleman. I've already learned to respect women. I've already learned to do all of that stuff. So what is it that I would have learned from you other than what I learned from my mom anyway? To be weak? To not be a man? I am a man. I am who I am. You get to pick and choose who you want. You transgender people get to pick and choose who you want to be. Aren't we all supposed to have the right to choose? Well, I choose to be the kind of person that I am. Who are you to tell me to be something completely different?
So that this can be a better world. Be queerer. Be more bisexual.
See what she, be queerer and be more bisexual. So you don't want men to just be men. The fuck? Oh my God, what the hell?
Be less cisgendered in the way that you move through the world.
I mean, really? But this misandrist feminist attitude wasn't just represented through narky quips and posturing. It was their embracing of political violence against patriarchy, that is, men, that truly revealed it. Here was the question.
We're trying to bring about significant change. When is aggression and violence a better option than assertiveness, strong arguments, and modelling the behaviour you expect of others?
And here are 4 out of the 5 women asserting that political violence is an appropriate tactic.
It's never the ideal. It's never the first thing to go to. But, slave rebellions. I mean, there are many causes where people have resorted to violence as a way to finally break through and get heard and achieve.
When they say, it's funny. Whenever leftists want to bring up something to today, they always want to bring up something from the ancient, from the past. Well, of course, when, slaves had to break away for freedom, of course they needed violence. Well, yeah, of course they needed violence to break away because it's slavery. But what y'all are talking about, and a friend happened to bring that up just recently, how their daughter was trying to force the family in an environment that they could not just walk out of. It was a family function and they couldn't just leave, and just brought up, well, I'm going to be transgender and this is and literally shoving it in their face. This is the problem I have with these transgender people and the gays and everything else. No one gives, and I pointed this out in other videos. No one, going back to the ancient past, pretty much almost everybody was bi or everybody was gay. Nobody cared in the ancient past. When everybody started caring is when, I hate to say it this way, but when Christianity came about. When Christianity came about and said that it was bad, that's when people started treating it like it was a bad thing. But in the ancient past, for thousands of years, no one batted an eye over the shit. So it's only been the last, time frame of Christianity where it became a bad thing. So for them to be like being gay is some newfangled thing, like being trans is some brand new thing, or cross-dressing is some brand new thing. In the ancient Japan, men dressed as women. You know, it's like, what the, this went on in the ancient times. No one cared. And today, no one cares. Nobody gives a damn. So for you to try and throw the shit in our faces, that's when we have a problem. Is because you're trying to throw the shit in your face, you know, in our faces. You don't see me out there with a damn picket sign and a spotlight and a bullhorn going, I'm black. Hey, I'm black. I'm black. Y'all see that? You see I'm black? Hey, I'm black. But that's what you gay people do, is you're out. I'm gay. I'm gay. You see that I'm gay, right? You notice I'm gay, right? Who cares? The only time I care is because you're literally screaming in my ear and in my face, pointing this shit out. Nobody gives a damn. If I go out on a date or I'm dating someone or with my wife, I'm not, hey, I'm married to a Latino girl. I'm married to a Mexican. I'm married to a Mexican. Y'all see this? Hey, I'm married to a, nobody fucking cares. That's the problem that we have with all of this bullshit, is y'all are out there screaming about it. Like we're supposed to give you, like we're supposed to throw a fucking parade for you people and shit. You're gay, great. That's your life. Live it. Have fun. But now your life starts spilling over to my life because you're screaming in my ear and in my face going, I'm gay, I'm gay. It's like, I don't give a fuck. So what? At that point, I'm going to push you the fuck off and be like, get the fuck out of my face. And then here's what this is when they, oh, see, you're a fucking transphobic person. You're gay, you're gay phobic. And no, I just don't want you in my face. I don't need you in my face. Great, you're gay. That's nice. Great, you're gay. Fine. Now let's move on. Let's watch the football game or let's sing some karaoke or something. Other than that, get the fuck out of my face. I mean, the next time a fucking, you know, gay person or a transgender person ever does that to me, I'll be like, hey, did you notice I'm black? Hey, did you notice? Look, be all in their face. Look, you see I'm black? Look. Next time a fucking gay person or transgender person does that shit, that's exactly what I'm going to fucking do. Did you notice I'm black? Yeah, I noticed. Well, why do you keep saying it? Well, why do you keep fucking telling me that you're gay? Why do you keep throwing it out there like it's a big presentation that you're fucking gay? So what? If you get to do it, then I get to do it too. Hey, everybody, I'm black. All right. Hey, everybody, I'm black. I'm about to sing a black song too. I'm going to be black and sing a black song, everybody. Oh shit. I may break down in a fucking sand dance or something. Fucking so stupid. Nobody cares.
What we need, and if that's what it takes, that's what it takes.
I want patriarchy to fear feminism. I want women themselves. As a woman, I'm asking, how many rapists must we kill until men stop raping us?
Hey, you know what, bitch? I have no problem with what you just said. Killing rapists? I'm all for it. I say we fucking do that shit. I am hardcore with that shit. Rapist? I say we fucking kill them. I say we do it publicly, for that matter. Bring back public executions. The guillotine, the gallows. Bring that shit back. I say we kill them and do that shit publicly. Put that shit on rapists, children, definitely children rapists. Oh yeah, put them in the Iron Maiden and shit. You know, I'm all for that. So I've got no problem with what she said on that.
Violence been allowed to continue unchecked, mostly by men, especially privileged men. So exactly how long do I have to wait to be safe?
I think if anyone's shocked by what Mona's suggesting, you have to look back to history and a certain faction of...
See, here we go. When they want to bring up fucking history. Why don't you talk about the present? She literally brought up Egypt earlier in the panel. You don't have to go into the ancient past. You don't have to go into history. You could talk about the, funny how you don't want to bring up the Middle East, huh? Because you might be considered, you know, like a Muslim hater. You might be considered, you know, so, but it's currently going on in Africa. predominantly Muslim. It's currently going on in the Middle East, predominantly Muslim. Funny how you're not bringing up current news. You want to bring up the ancient past. Interesting.
The suffragettes in the early 20th century, they used violence. They thought what they were fighting was a civil war between the sexes. They were fighting for their lives.
I wonder what our kind of tipping point in Australia is going to be when people are going to start burning stuff. I look forward to it. We live in a colony. Like, we've tried for 230 plus years to appeal to the colonizers' morality, which just doesn't seem to exist. So I think violence is okay. Let's burn stuff. Let's burn stuff.
Interestingly enough, if you look at the world through
To
their
burn
lens,
stuff is what
their
she said.
arguments actually make total logical sense, and they make them so convincingly. Lots of big words, nice, thoughtful, earnest tone, appeals to emotion. You know, you can see why the gullible are so duped by them. But the thing is, the prism through which they view the world, the Western world that is anyway, is just not real, as I mentioned. They are trying to compare Australia and other Western countries to places like Uganda and Egypt and Iran, and apparently to the early 20th century suffragettes and also historic slave revolutions. You know, places and time periods where equal rights actually don't exist, and where there actually is a violent, oppressive regime, and where people actually are trying to kill or physically harm you.
Yeah, you can't compare today's world to the ancient past, because in the ancient past, you could kill your wife in the public square and nobody gave a damn. Why, as I said, why do y'all keep bringing up the ancient past of shit when you can talk about current timeline, current Africa, current Middle East, current North Korea, where women don't have rights? Why don't you bring that up? But again, you don't want to do that because you'd be politically incorrect if you do that.
But we are not living in that kind of
But it's perfectly politically correct to attack cis men. I don't even like that word. Oh my God, I don't even like that cis men. Just say man's man. Just say that. Just say a man's man. It's funny. You don't want us to fucking choose your damn titles. Well, you don't get to choose mine. I'm not some cisgendered male. I'm a man's man. I get to pick my own damn title, and that's what I'm picking.
Society. And sure, there are problems, but not those of a white supremacist oppressive patriarchy. And yet, these women still somehow convince themselves that they are living in one of the most violent, unequal times in human history. So why do these women and those who agree with these women make these fantastical claims?
Lies.
Well, I think there are two reasons that people buy into this regressive, radical leftist oppression ideology. First, they're damaged. They've suffered some sort of trauma
they're
and
definitely
are looking for a
damaged.
place where nobody is going to blame them. This allows them to project their personal experience onto the rest of the world, thus justifying and normalizing those experiences and making them feel less alone. It's a kind of coping mechanism. The second reason, however, is that these are people who have an inherently violent totalitarian streak. Now, sure, they may also have suffered some trauma and maybe want to make the world a better place, but there are plenty of people who want to do that without insisting that we are living in a violent patriarchy where violence is necessary to dismantle it. These kinds of people are simply looking for ways to exercise their violent nature and justify their bigotry, if not by doing it themselves, then by egging other people on. The trick is that they excuse it under the guise of working for the...
And I thought about this earlier before I decided to post this video. What these bitches are doing is basically screaming fire in a theater, which is illegal. It is not covered under freedom of speech. Well, that's exactly what these bitches on that panel are doing. They're screaming fire in a theater. They're calling out violence with no evidence to back up what the hell they're saying. When they're saying all men, when they're saying all white men, where is your evidence for you to even be throwing out such a slanderous statement? Where's your fucking evidence? There are video cameras every fucking where. So where is your evidence? And I don't mean, as I said, one example of something. I'm talking where it's the majority of shit to where it's an epidemic. It's systemic. Where's your evidence of that? You don't have the evidence. So you're being slanderous in what you're saying, and you should be arrested. All of you. You all are screaming fire in a theater and should all be charged with. Here's the thing. Donald Trump hasn't said anything like that, and y'all accuse him of, when y'all read between the lines of what he said, he's calling for violence. That's not even what the fuck he said. What the hell are you? Oh, but if you read between the lines of what he said, that's what he meant. You bitches are outright calling for fucking violence and everything. Outright. There is no reading between the lines. You are actually calling for violence. Why aren't y'all arrested for trying to incite violence? What the hell has happened to the world? I guarantee some stupid leftist can look at this video. Oh, he's calling for violence and he, talking about beating these bitches' asses and everything. And I'm like, you know what? To tell you the truth, fuckers, they need to be slapped. They need it. They're calling for violence for no reason, and somehow or another they need to be punished. They want to call for violence? I get to do it. Hello? Equal rights, right? Freedom of speech, right? So if they want to call for shit, I get to defend myself and defend my men, my fellow man, and we get to call for violence of defending ourselves. The rapist, I'm good for that. I am way good for that. Killing rapists, we are all hardcore for that. But violence against just straight men, what the hell is that shit? Who are you to call out violence just because I'm a straight man? Which I have literally dealt with firsthand, where I had those biker dykes come up to me for grab her arm, grab her breast, wrap their arm around her and everything and try and kiss her. These bitches were straight up lucky I didn't whip their asses because the wife took care of it herself. But if a guy were to have done that, then of course we'd be all like, men are evil. But how is it these dykes get away with doing that shit and it's perfectly okay? What kind of bullshit is that? How is it that gays, I've been groped, I've been grabbed by gay men, and I'm like, yo, I'm not like that. I will whip your ass. But it's okay. It's okay. I just grabbed your ass. It's okay, right? What are you, homophobic? No, you grabbed my ass. I didn't invite you to do. It's like, why is it that gay people feel that the rules that we all have to follow don't seem to apply to them? Gays, transgender. How is it that all of the morality rules that apply to everybody else just don't seem to apply to gays and transgender and lesbians and dykes and alphabet people? Why is it that the rules don't seem to apply to them? I don't understand that. Why? What the hell has happened to our world that we are allowing this shit, not arresting these people, not whipping their ass like we would do to any typical person doing something like that?
Common good. They justify their online pylons in a similar way by depicting any kind of reasonable dissent as somehow a threat to their very existence.
So no, I do not have the luxury or the privilege to sit there and be civil with people who do not acknowledge my full humanity. I refuse.
This painting the situation as so bad that violence is the only option is characteristic of every extremist ideology since the dawn of time. And it is so exposing of how hateful they are.
So let me get this straight. You sound like a spoiled child. If you don't validate my existence, then I'm just going to hate you. Bitch, I don't need you to validate my existence. I don't need any of you fuckers to validate my existence. That's for me to do. That's between me and my goddess, because I'm pagan, or that's between you and your God or Jesus Christ or whatever. That's between you and who you want to be or believe in. Somebody else doesn't need, especially somebody your family may want to validate you because they're family or your spouse or your girlfriend or your children. But the regular person on the street, bitch, The fuck? The regular person on the street doesn't need to fucking validate your existence. Doesn't need to give credence to your existence. Unless we have a business deal or something like that or whatever, then that's a business deal or whatever. Or if we're going to date or something, then that kind of shit. But if you're just a person on the street and I'm just a person on the street, I don't need to fucking validate your existence. Screw you.
Are and their loathing of men. If the women on that panel heard that kind of language used about any other group, they would rightfully decry it as hateful. But since they have painted white men as the oppressors who must atone for their sins and the sins of their ancestors, they insist this justifies their hateful conduct. It is quite sociopathic. Now, to be clear here, I am not saying that any of these women on the panel are themselves violent. Gosh, no, please don't sue me. I'm just saying their words are characteristic of a man.
You know what? I will agree with her on that. I don't give a fuck if y'all do try to sue me. Freedom of speech, bitches. Fuck y'all. I'll agree with what she said, on I don't think that these women are violent. You know what? I don't think they're violent at all. As I said before, my mom would call those bitches out all day. A real woman wouldn't be up here bitching like a goddamn 5-year-old. That's what a real woman would be, just like, I'll deal with things on a case-by-case basis. I'm not going to be up here whining like a bitch. But no, I'll agree with Daisy. I don't think these women are violent. You know why? Because I think they're just like Hitler in the sense that they're weak and they want other people to do the dirty work for them while they get to sit on the sidelines and sip tea and just like, oh my God, and play stupid. Oh my God, I can't believe that they got violent. Why? How did they get violent? It can't be what we said, right? See, yeah, I don't think that they are violent because I just think, as I said, I think they're weak and they want other people to do their dirty work for them. They're cowards. You want to do something? Then you do it. You get out there and do something. Set the example your damn self. But they're not going to do that. So yeah, I agree with Daisy. They're not violent because they don't have the balls themselves to be violent. They don't have the balls to set the example for the people they're trying to incite into violence. They ain't going to be on the front line with you. Right. Yeah, okay, we'll see how that goes.
Mentality on the radical left that I have been noticing for some time, just so we're clear. Another thing this panel exposed is that radical fourth-wave feminism is sadly lacking a basis in facts. This lack of facts was on full display in their discussions about homelessness, domestic violence, and violence generally. First, consider this comment made by Hannah during a discussion about aged care in Australia.
Coincidentally, the highest group of homelessness in this country are women over 50.
Okay, so that's not true. Women over 50 are not the highest or largest or broadest homeless group in Australia. They are the fastest growing group, which is certainly of concern, but it is a very specific example that does not actually reflect the scope of homelessness. According to the 2016 census, which is the most recent data, 16% of Australia's homeless are aged 55 and over. By contrast, 59% are below the age of 35. Now, to steel man Hannah's argument, let's add half of the 12% of homeless people between the ages of 45 and 54, since her assertion was women over 50. So we'll say 22% of Australia's homeless are 50 plus in age. The majority of that 22% are men. In fact, the majority of Australia's homeless population overall are men, 58% to be.
Again, how is it that the left can spout lies all day and we're not calling them out on it? But then again, social media and just mass media as a rule, just general, are controlled by who? The left. So of course they get to spread lies, and of course there's not going to be a rebuttal towards it because the left control most media. So yeah, they get to lie and get away with it, which is why we need, and I'm sorry, but I'm not calling for violence. I'm calling for self-defense. That's what I'm calling for. We need, as us conservatives, as us on the right, need to get out there and start getting in these motherfuckers' faces. We need to start calling them on their bullshit, calling out their lies, and start suing them. Start attacking them in the way that we should, in the way of suing them, in the way of going after them of, hey, no, I'm in your face. You ain't gonna ignore us. We're sick and tired of y'all spreading these damn lies about us. We're gonna be in your damn faces now. What are you gonna do about it? Because I hate to tell you, you stupid leftist, you're still in the fucking minority, for one. For two, the majority of you are the weakest soy boy, vegetarian, weak ass piece of shit Bambies out there. You think any of you dumb ass leftist soy boys are going to come and confront me? I'm 6'1", over 270. I mean, seriously, you think you're going to come confront me? And I'm armed and I carry and all of that? Doubt it. Seriously doubt it. You'll probably what we see in videos all damn day is do your little sneak attack bullshit. Thing is, I grew up in gangs. I grew up gangs, working security, so I'm always on guard. I am always paying attention to my surroundings. I've had friends who have come up behind me, who have jumped on me and grabbed me from behind, trying to pull a sneak attack stuff. I didn't know who they were. Grabbed them, flipped them the hell over, and slammed them on the ground because I'm a trained fighter, and be like, oh, yo, didn't know it was you. And you should know better than to be sneaking up on me like that. See, so your sneak attack bullshit. Here's the thing. Because I see how y'all do. You surround, I see the videos, I see them all the time. Y'all surround people, and everybody's got that goal of either trying to hit you with an object, or stab you, or something like that one where they tried to stab a Marine from behind. You surround the person, but I grew up being in gangs. So I always have a wall to my back. I always have something to cover my back and see from my peripheral vision. Plus, I'm a trained fighter. So the moment y'all try to surround me, I'm already going to be fucking swinging because I'm already going to be threatened and I'm going to put you down. And this is a rule coming from when I was just in school in the martial arts and when I've taught my own students. In a situation like that, you put the first combatant down in the most violent way possible because it'll let the others, it's basically intimidation factor. You break the morale. You put the first, especially if it's the one that was doing the most talking, because that is just my own rule when it comes back to gang time. The one who did the most talking, that's the one you put down first in the most gruesome, violent way possible. Once you do that, it's like, who's next? That right there I've done that. I have literally done that. And everybody else is like, oh shit. And I've had even where the second person is like, we still outnumber them, we can get them. And I'm like, you do see what happened to the first person, right? You do see what happened to the first person. You're going to get it much worse. Keep running your damn mouth. So I'm sorry, and I will put this better go out to everybody I know. The moment you get surrounded to where you feel shit may go down, put either the closest person, but if it's definitely the person that's been running their mouth the most, literally instantly put them down as quickly and as violently as possible to shock the fuck out of the rest of them. And just do what you got to do to get the hell out of there. If you can grab the second person, get that second person and put them in a disabling hold that will either maim them or even kill them, because it's still your self-defense. You didn't start it. They started it. They invaded your space and surrounded you. The only way, if it's going to be a line kind of thing and it's a debate or whatever, they'll stand about, because they're not in your bubble, they're going to stand about 5 feet from you and it'll be a line. When they start surrounding you, something's going to go down. That's a straight up just gang rule right there. Don't let these dumbass leftists, don't let anybody make a comment on this video and try to say, no, that doesn't mean anything. I grew up in that. I've been in that situation multiple times. My friends have been in that situation multiple times. And you can watch the videos for yourself, multiple videos. The moment they go to surround you, they're about to attack you. No reasonable, intelligent, moral person is going to do that. They're gonna. It's a conversation. I'm gonna stand about 5 feet from you, and we're gonna have a dialogue. No, the moment they start surrounding you, shit's about to go down. That right there automatically calls for you to attack and defend yourself. I dare any dumbass fucking leftist to come at this video and say otherwise, because unless you've lived it, shut the fuck up. And if you have lived it, then you're proving my point. But don't sit here and go, well, no, that doesn't mean every single time. Yeah, it does. Because reasonable, intelligent people know I'm not going to invade their space. We all learn this stuff in elementary school. You're going to say you didn't? Bullshit. We all did. Sharing, invading people's space. We learn all that crap in elementary school. So the moment you go to surround people, 100% shit's about to go down. Anyway, back to the video.
Precise. So, no, the highest or largest homeless demographic in Australia is not women over 50. Depending on how you want to split the data, it is most likely men and boys under the age of 35. So why make this very false statement? Well, I'm
Because
thinking
the
Hannah
left
actually
lied.
meant to say that it was the highest growing demographic, but nerves and adrenaline got in the way. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Either way, nobody on that panel questioned or corrected her. They just ummed and ahed and nodded in affirmation. Everyone was perfectly happy to accept the narrative that women are the victims in homelessness. And that right there is one of the ways these kinds of feminists paint this big, bad, scary world for women. They tell only half the story. And honestly, it's so
Or they
indicative
outright
of the
lie.
bigotry of low expectations that white leftists have, that the white women on the panel listened to a woman of color say something that anyone with even a basic knowledge of homeless statistics would know is most likely false, but their response was simply, second in their parade of factlessness was, of course, their discussion of domestic violence. They presented it as a gendered issue caused by gender inequality and disrespect for women.
That we are and have leaders who speak in ways, and unwittingly or deliberately, where they message and give signals to men in terms of male behaviour. I find it problematic and disconcerting that we're saying, oh, well, you know, the gender equity conversation hasn't worked and we still have increased incidents of violence towards women. What is it that we're getting wrong? What we're getting wrong is the doublespeak. It's the attitude that gives legitimacy
100%.
to the treatment of women.
Okay, here's the thing. Domestic violence is not caused by gender inequality. The catalyst runs deeper, as revealed in a recent major study into domestic violence in Australia by the Australian Institute of Criminology. According to this study, which was released in September and examined 39 quantitative studies on the topic, domestic violence is hugely concentrated in disadvantaged, low socioeconomic communities, and alcohol was a driving factor.
Exactly.
Not gender inequality. No shit, Sherlock! The study also found that a tiny minority of men who are repeat offenders were responsible for a disproportionate amount of the abuse, and stated that there is growing recognition that domestic violence offending is concentrated among a relatively small group of offenders or couples. Finally, it found that a median of 36% of domestic violence incidents were alcohol-related, and that alcohol use was associated with more severe acts of violence and was more likely where there was evidence of escalating frequency and severity of violence. So, no, it's not because of men in power condoning the bad behavior of other men. There is a far simpler explanation. And while, yes, tragically, female victims make up the majority of deaths in intimate partner violence, that is not the whole story. According to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, in 2018, 47% of family domestic violence-related homicide overall, so not just intimate partner violence, were males. That is, 75 deaths were women and girls, and 65 deaths were men and boys. It's not a lot of numerical difference. But do we ever hear about those male victims of family violence from feminists?
No,
of course not.
ever.
And if we do, it's with the qualifier that men predominantly are the perpetrators. Well, so what? Does that mean that male victims of DV deserve less sympathy and recognition? How callous and cold from women who claim to be all about
equality.
compassion. This leads me to the third fact-free assertion the women on this panel made, that we are living in a violent patriarchy where women are in constant danger of being harmed by men.
How long must we wait for men and boys to stop murdering us, to stop beating us, and to stop raping us?
Here's the thing. While women are the primary victims of sexual violence, men are actually the primary victims of violence generally in society. Again, according to the ABS in 2018, about 2 in 3 victims of murder and attempted murder were male, as were 74% of victims of robberies. Also, men are more likely to get attacked in public places than women. Again, use the qualifier that most of the perpetrators of violence are men. Again, so what? Men are physically stronger than women and more aggressive because they have more testosterone. Of course, they are more likely to act in violent ways than women are. That should not be a shock to anyone, nor is it evidence of some culture of toxic masculine violence within the ranks of men. It's just biology. That doesn't make it okay, but it does indicate that men are afflicted by some sort of original sin of toxic masculinity.
If you're Aboriginal, a woman, Muslim or trans, everything wrong in your life is because of white men.
The November 4th episode of Q&A was the single biggest expose of radical fourth wave feminism we have seen for some time. The women on that panel seem to live in this falsified world of patriarchy, a white supremacist violent nightmare world based on cherry-picked statistics and their own projected self-interest. They have created this world because they are damaged, self-obsessed people who desperately want to feel like they are part of a cause, when in reality they are just a bunch of privileged, middle-class women with too much time on their hands looking for something to complain about. You know, imagine being so privileged that you have the luxury of viewing the world solely through the prism of gender and race, rather than paying the bills or holding down a dreary 9-to-5 job, and then having the hide to pretend you are somehow oppressed. So please share this video. It is so, so important to see the lies and toxicity behind modern feminist ideology. After all, sunlight is the best disinfectant.
As I said, and as I need to also keep reminding, like and share this video. And yeah, we really need to start going after these fucking new wave feminists that all they do is spread lies or half truths. We need to call out the bullshit for what it is. On anybody that is spouting out just straight bullshit that can't be verified or is already that can be proven is an outright freaking lie, they need to be brought to justice. That this is getting really stupid. There is enough violence. There's enough true violence. There is enough true bad things in the world that we don't need to make up fake shit. This is just... These real lawyers out there need to start charging these people. Whenever these videos come up and get reported, lawyers, the DAs, whoever, need to go after these people and be like, hey, we cannot have y'all screaming fire in a fucking theater. We can't have y'all putting these damn obvious half-truths out there, obvious lies out there. We can't have you doing that. Here's the thing that I've also noticed that these bitches do, these leftist dumbasses and these feminists and everything. They say the bullshit that they say, and then the moment they get called out on it, oh, I must have had my facts wrong. Oh, I guess I read the wrong study. I guess I read the wrong article. That's how they get away with it. But here's the thing. You were going on TV. So you didn't do your fucking research like an intelligent person should before you went on a goddamn interview? Bullshit. You can't be that fucking stupid. And if you are, that's it. We need to ban you from any TV or interviews or something like that for the next year, at least. We need to take it to that kind of a drastic nature because it has gotten that bad. But anyway, that's my final thought on that. And as I said, I'm going to try my best to just start posting more real and do live feed straight up. I don't want to edit things and cut things out or whatever, because then you can make it all pretty and all this other bullshit. I don't care about any of that mess. I just want to say what I got to say straight up and just move on. So that's why I love doing my live feeds, because it's easy enough for me to just say what I got to say. My brain and my thoughts are always just right there. I don't want to sit there and go off a script and all this other bullshit. I can talk. I love talking. I could talk all damn day. And the way I was military intelligence, anything dealing with any debate, which is why I never lost debate, is because my brain was always on point. I didn't, well, let me come back and prep my notes and come back. No. Let's debate right now. Straight up. Let's go. You obviously wanted to start this whole argument or debate or whatever. Let's go. Oh no, I gotta, get my thoughts focused and everything. Well, then you should have kept your damn mouth shut. Let's go. Let's talk. You wanted to open your mouth and you start running your mouth and talking shit. Then come on, say what you got to say. So again, I don't like doing the whole recording it and editing it and adding graphics and all this other bullshit. No, I'm real. I'm going to tell you straight up what the hell I feel. So anybody who wants to ask anything, hopefully, the videos, I don't know. I guess I need to change how, because I guess, doing the whole honey badger thing, it needs to be found because you got to go through honey badger shit, whatever. So I'm thinking I'm going to rename the channel to where it's easier to find, so I don't know. Obviously I can't use my name, not because I'm afraid to, because I don't give a shit. No, because my name is so fucking common. Damn, I was stationed. I went to school with people with my name. I was stationed in the army with people with my name that fucked up, paychecks and shit. So I need to come up with something that isn't just some common thing that everybody could fucking find and shit. I need to come up with something that is unique, that everybody could find and get seen, and at the same time speak towards what I want to say. Some title, some name that is easy enough for people to see. But anyway, talk to y'all later. Post another video soon. Peace out.